So children, in my earlier video on the cell chapter, I have described the structure of microscope and the definition of cell and cell theory. In this, and also the shape and size of cells. In this video, I'll be describing to you the different parts of the cell. The first part which I am going to describe is the cell boundary. Now, cell boundary, there are two types of cell boundary. One is the plasma membrane and another one is the cell wall. So plasma membrane is the cell boundary which is found as the cell boundary for all cells, right from bacterial cells up to the cells of human beings, plant cells. Every cell will have plasma membrane as its cell boundary. Now, apart from the plasma membrane, in case of plant cells and some other cells, you will also find an additional boundary above the plasma membrane or outside the plasma membrane, which is called the cell wall. So we'll describe the structure of plasma membrane in details. So plasma membrane is so thin a membrane that the structure of plasma membrane became clear only after the development of electron microscope. Your DNA structure was discovered or described in the year 1950, and plasma membrane structure was described in the year 1972. So you can imagine how thin it is and how difficult it was to describe the structure of plasma membrane. Now, plasma membrane under electron microscope, it is seen that it is made up of two layers. So you can see this is one layer and this is another layer. Now what are these layers? These molecules look like this. What are these layers? These are the layers of lipid. Lipid means fat-like substance. So you have a lipid. How many layers are there? Two layers. So it is called lipid bilayer. And in that lipid bilayer, you will have proteins which are embedded. Some proteins are from one end to the other end of the membrane. So these are called internal or intrinsic proteins. Whereas some proteins are only on the surface of the lipid layer. So they are called external or extrinsic proteins. These internal proteins also have protein channels through which substances can move into or outside the cell. This particular model has been given the name as fluid mosaic model. It is something like mosaic pattern, where the different colored stones are put onto the floor. So same way, if you observe this structure from above, you'll find it is a layer of lipid, and in that layer of lipid, the proteins are embedded. So that is the chemical nature of plasma membrane. Now why it is called plasma membrane? Because plasma membrane is a more general term. Rather than calling it cell membrane, it's better if we call plasma membrane, because it is not only found surrounding the cell, but the same structure will be found surrounding the different cell organelles. So we use the term plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is a selectively permeable membrane, and it is an ultra thin membrane. Why selectively permeable? Because it allows only selected substances to move across it. Another property is that it is a living membrane. So these are the three properties of plasma membrane along with its chemical nature. Next we come to cell wall. Cell wall is a non-living layer found above the plasma membrane in what kind of cells? You'll find them in plant cells, fungal cells, cells of fungus, moneran cells. Monera is a kingdom you'll be getting later on. It includes bacteria, cyanobacteria, and cells of some protists. Protista is another kingdom in the living world, and that contains organisms like diatoms and all, diatoms, amoeba and all. So some protists, they also have a cell wall. So when we talk about cell wall, especially in case of plant cells, is made up of a complex carbohydrate which is called cellulose. Along with cellulose, there might be other substances as well. And it is a freely permeable membrane. Since it is a non-living layer, so it cannot control what will move across it. So it is a freely permeable. It allows, if the pore size are bigger, so it will allow all the molecules to pass across it. If the pore size are small, the molecules will be stopped. So it is a freely permeable. It cannot control by itself. So after this, we come to types of solution, because we have to discuss the movement of molecules across plasma membrane. So depending on the amount of solute, because solution contains two things. One is a solvent and another one is the solute. Suppose you mix salt in water, salt is the solute and water is the solvent. So depending on the amount of solute, the substance which will be dissolved, we have three types of solution. Hypertonic solution, hyper means more. So when a solution has more solute molecules compared to what? It has to be a comparison. Yes or no? Suppose you are tall or short. You will find it out how? By comparing with someone else. The same way, when a solution has more solute molecules compared to the surrounding medium, such a solution is called hypertonic solution. You can also label them as concentrated solution. Next is hypotonic. Hypo means less. So when a solution has less solid molecules compared to the surrounding medium, so such solutions are called hypotonic solution. You can also call them as dilute solution. And third type is isotonic solution. So when a solution has equal solute concentration compared to the surrounding medium, then it is called isotonic. So let's understand with the help of a diagram. Suppose there is the solution. In the solution, these are the solute molecules. So the side where the solute molecules will be less, that is called hypotonic, and the side where the solute molecules will be more, that is called hypertonic. So there is a more concentrated solution, there is a less concentrated solution. So what are the types of movement across plasma membrane? Let's try to understand the different types of movement of substances. So first is diffusion. Diffusion is the movement of molecules from a region of high concentration to low concentration. Normally it occurs for gases. Gases transport in living organisms occurs by diffusion. So suppose you spray perfume in corner of a room, it will spread to the entire room. Why it will spread? Because the molecules where you have sprayed, their concentration is more there. So they move to a region where the concentration is less. There is no involvement of plasma membrane. Plasma membrane hardly plays any role here. Next is the case of osmosis. What is osmosis? Osmosis is movement of water molecules. We say water molecules because water is the more common solvent found in most of the solution. So movement of water molecules from a region of high water concentration, so wherever water will be more, that will be called a dilute solution, to a region of low water concentration. Low water concentration means it will be a concentrated solution across a semi-permeable membrane. So that is the definition of osmosis. Now there are two types of osmosis. One is called endoosmosis, another one is called exosmosis. Endo means to enter. Suppose we take water and in that water we place some raisins. After some time what we will find that the raisins have swollen up. Why? Because inside the raisin water concentration was less, outside water concentration was more. So from a dilute solution the water has entered into a concentrated solution. So that is your endoosmosis. After that is exosmosis. Exosmosis is what? It is exo means exit. So what will happen? The water will exit a solution. Suppose we take a strong sugar solution and in that we place some fresh grapes. So after some time you will find that the grapes have shrunk. Why? Because water molecules have moved out. Outside water is less, inside the grapes water concentration is more. So water has moved out of the system. That is called exosmosis. Then we have few more terms to be discussed like turgidity. Now suppose when you blow a balloon, what happens to the membrane of the balloon? After it gets filled with air, it becomes tight. So that condition is called a turgid condition. So what is turgidity? When a cell or a system will absorb water and it will swell up, the boundary becomes tight and that is called a turgid condition or turgidity. Flaccidity, the reverse, when water will leave out. Suppose a blown up balloon, you release the air, the membrane becomes loose. So that is called the flaccid condition or a flaccid system, and the condition is called flaccidity. So just like what happens in case of grapes, they become loose, the membrane becomes loose. Another related term is called plasmolysis. Now this is a term used exclusively for biological system. This is a special case of flaccidity when due to exosmosis, what we see in case of grapes, the plasma membrane shrinks away from the cell wall. Such a cell is called plasmolyzed cell. So suppose water has moved out of the cell wall. So water is moving out. So what will happen? The plasma membrane, which is very flexible, it will shrink away and it will shrink towards a corner. It will not shrink towards the center. Shrink towards the corner away from the cell wall. This is the cell wall. So that is called plasmolysis, and such a cell is called plasmolyzed cell. Cell wall does not constrict as in case of older cells, because in older cells the cell walls are very hard. They have some extra deposit apart from cellulose which prevents them from shrinking. So this is the case of plasmolysis. So overall, these are the concepts of different types of movement across plasma membrane. So what we have discussed in this video, we have discussed about structure of plasma membrane, the selectively permeable nature. We have discussed different types of solution, hypotonic, hypertonic solution, different types of movement, diffusion, osmosis, endo and exosmosis, and the different condition, turgidity, flaccidity, and plasmolysis. So in the next video, I'll be discussing about nucleus and the structure of other cell organelles.